They told me to get lost. It's a phrase I've heard in every accent, in every city, in every tone of voice imaginable. Get lost. Go away. You don't belong here. I was sitting on the cold concrete curb, the dampness seeping through the thin fabric of my worn-out jeans, my head hung low between my shoulders. I was trying to make myself small. I was trying to be invisible. In a city like this, a young black man in a hoodie is never seen as a person. He is seen as a threat, a statistic, or a nuisance. I was hungry, my stomach twisting into tight, painful knots that roared loud enough to be heard over the passing traffic, but I kept my eyes on the gutter. If I looked up, I'd see the fear. If I made eye contact, I'd see the disgust. Hey you, get away from the storefront. The voice was harsh, sharp like cracking glass. I didn't need to look up to know it was the shop owner. He had been watching me through the window for 10 minutes, clutching his phone like he was ready to dial 911 because a man dared to sit on public property while being black. I said move, he shouted, stepping out with a broom, sweeping the air near my feet as if I were a pile of trash he could just brush into the street. You're scaring the customers. Look at you. You look like you're casing the joint. No money, no food. Go, 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 beat it. I didn't move fast enough for his liking. My legs were stiff from the cold. I started to rise, the exhaustion weighing on me like a physical chain. I wasn't tired from physical labor. I was tired from the weight of the mask I had to wear. I was tired of the performance. Who says we don't have money to eat? The voice cut through the shop owner's shouting like a melody. It was soft, feminine, and laced with a quiet authority that made the shopkeeper freeze mid-swing. I looked up. Standing there was a woman who looked like she had stepped out of a painting. She wasn't wearing designer labels that screamed for attention, but she carried herself with a grace that money couldn't buy. Her eyes, warm and dark, were fixed on me, not on my hoodie, not on my scuffed boots, on me. Come on, she said, extending a hand toward me. Her skin was pale against mine, a stark contrast that the world usually frowned upon. Sister is treating you, don't listen to him. The shopkeeper scoffed, spitting on the ground near my shoe. You're wasting your money, lady. He's just going to use it for drugs. Look at his eyes. They're all the same. She ignored him completely, her focus entirely on lifting me up. Ignore the noise, she whispered to me. Hunger doesn't care about what people think. Come, money is no object today. I stood up, towering over her, but she didn't flinch. She didn't take a step back in fear like most women did when I stood to my full height. She smiled. The tear mole at the corner of your eye, I stammered, my voice raspy from disuse. It is so beautiful. She laughed, a genuine, bubbling sound that made my chest ache. You have a smooth tongue for a hungry kid. I'm Sarah, and you? I'm Julian, I said. It wasn't a lie, but it wasn't the whole truth. Sarah, when I succeed in my business venture later, I will definitely repay you. I promise. I will pay you back 1,000 times over. She patted my arm, handing me a warm sandwich she had just purchased from a vendor down the street. All right, Julian, sister will wait for you, but for now, just eat. You can't conquer the world on an empty stomach. She didn't know, how could she? She didn't know that Julian was Julian Sterling. She didn't know that the man devouring a $5 sandwich in front of her was the head of the Sterling Empire, the mysterious billionaire X, that every news station in the country, including the one she worked for, was desperate to interview. I had returned to the States to take over the family legacy, but I needed to know the truth about the people around me. I needed to know who would spit on me when I was down and who would offer me a hand. I had found my answer in her. A week later, I walked into the gleaming glass lobby of Apex Media. I wasn't wearing my custom-tailored Italian wool suits. I wasn't wearing the Patek Philippe watch that cost more than the building I was standing in. I was wearing a cheap, polyester blazer I'd bought at a thrift store. It was tight in the shoulders and short in the sleeves. My hair was natural, unstyled. I wanted to see them. I wanted to see the real faces of the people who claimed to report the truth. Excuse me, I said to the receptionist, keeping my voice low and polite. I'm here for the interview with Ms. Sarah regarding the assistant position. The receptionist looked up, her eyes widening in alarm. She reached for the silent alarm button under her desk. I saw her fingers twitch. The delivery entrance is in the back, she stuttered. We aren't accepting walk-ins for maintenance right now. I am not here for maintenance, I said, my patience already thinning. I am here for an interview. For what? Security. A sharp, venomous voice sliced through the air. I turned, walking across the lobby. The click-clack of her heels echoing like gunshots was a woman in a bright red dress that was tailored to intimidate. This was Monica, the Queen of News. the anchor who smiled brightly on camera and spewed poison the moment the red light turned off. She looked me up and down, her lip curling in a sneer so profound it looked painful. "I am here for the assistant position," I corrected her, standing my ground. "You," she let out a short, barking laugh that lacked any humor. She walked a circle around me, inspecting me like I was a piece of livestock at a county fair. "Look at you. Did you steal that jacket? It barely fits. We don't hire your kind here. This is a reputable news station, honey, not a halfway house. We need people who can read and write, not people who look like they're casing the joint to steal the copper wiring." My jaw tightened. I could buy this woman's entire lineage with the change in my pocket, but I held my tongue. "I have a degree." "I don't care if you have a magic wand," Monica spat, stepping into my personal space, her perfume overpowering and cloying. "You look cheap. You look poor. You look like you crawled out of a gutter. You frighten the clientele. Do you know who walks through this lobby? Senators, CEOs, dignitaries. If they see a big black shadow like you lurking in the corner, they'll think they're being mugged. Get out before I call security and tell them you threatened me. And I know exactly how the police handle boys like you. They shoot first and ask questions never." "Monica!" Sarah's voice rang out from the elevator banks. She rushed over, looking flustered, clutching a stack of files. When she saw me, her face softened, though confusion clouded her eyes. "Julian, what are you doing here?" "I'm just taking out the trash, Sarah," Monica said, flipping her hair over her shoulder. "This boy claims he's here for the assistant job. I told him we aren't hiring janitors or bodyguards today. He's clearly confused." "I invited him," Sarah said firmly, stepping between Monica and me. She looked like a sparrow protecting a hawk, unaware of the power I held. "He is here to interview for my team." Monica scoffed, rolling her eyes so hard I thought they might get stuck. "You're desperate, Sarah, but go ahead. Bring the stray dog into the office. But if anything goes missing, a purse, a laptop, a pen, I'm holding you responsible. It's in their nature, you know. They can't help themselves." I followed Sarah into the office, my blood boiling beneath my skin. Patience, I told myself. The lion does not roar at the rat. The interview process was a farce. Monica had rigged it. She gathered all the candidates, mostly young, white men from Ivy League schools who looked at me with a mixture of amusement and pity, and handed us a massive stack of complex financial news reports. "Memorize this," Monica said with a wicked grin, slamming the papers down on the table. "In 10 minutes. If you can't recite it perfectly, word for word, you're out. We need photographic memories in this business." The other candidates panicked. "This is impossible. There are thousands of words here. This covers the Asian market volatility and the tech sector collapse." "Basic skills," Monica sneered. "If you can't do it, leave." She turned her gaze to me. "Especially you. Why don't you just give up now? Go back to the basketball court or the street corner or wherever you people hang out. Reading isn't exactly your strong suit, is it?" I picked up the papers. I didn't read them. I scanned them. My mind had been trained by the best tutors in the world. I had been reading market reports since I was 6 years old. 10 minutes later, Monica clapped her hands. "Time's up. Who wants to embarrass themselves first?" I stood up. The chairs scraped against the floor, drawing everyone's attention. "I'll go first," I said. Monica rolled her eyes, checking her watch. "Oh, please make it quick. Spare us the mumbling and the ebonics. Try to speak English if you can." I took a breath, and then I began. I recited every single word, every statistic, every decimal point. I didn't stumble. I didn't pause. I delivered the news with the cadence of a CEO because I was a CEO. These were my companies they were reporting on. I knew the numbers because I wrote them. I spoke about the Longwan market volatility with the authority of the man who caused it. When I finished, the room was dead silent. You could hear the hum of the air conditioning. Sarah looked stunned, her mouth slightly open. Monica looked furious. Her face turned a blotchy shade of red. "He cheated," Monica hissed, pointing a shaking finger at me. "He has an earpiece. Check him. He must have stolen the answers. There is no way a boy like him could memorize that." "Enough," Sarah said, beaming at me, pride radiating from her face. "He didn't cheat, Monica. I was watching him the whole time. You're hired, Julian." Monica stormed out, muttering about affirmative action and standards dropping to the floor, but I didn't care. I was in. I was close to Sarah, and I was one step closer to exposing the rot in this company. The victory was short-lived. The station was failing. Ratings were down, and the only thing that could save them was an exclusive interview with the mysterious billionaire ex. Sarah was under immense pressure. If she didn't get the interview, her show and her career would be over. "We have a lead," Sarah told me a few days later, looking exhausted, dark circles under her eyes. "Billionaire X is rumored to be at the Elysium Golf Club today. It's our only chance, but it's a long shot." "I'll drive," I said. When we arrived at the Elysium, the gates were imposing iron monoliths designed to keep the world out. This was old money. This was white money. As we pulled up in Sarah's modest sedan, a sleek, canary yellow sports car cut us off, nearly clipping our bumper. Monica stepped out, hanging onto the arm of a slick-looking man in a polo shirt, Brad, the owner of a rival media group. Well, Brad laughed, looking at me through his aviator sunglasses. "Sarah, is this your driver, or did you adopt a charity case from the inner city program?" "He's my assistant," Sarah said, getting out of the car, smoothing her skirt. "We are here to see the manager." "You can't go in," Brad sneered. "This is a members-only club, sweetheart. The annual fee is $10 million. Do you have $10 million, Sarah, or does your little pet have it?" He flicked a finger toward me, snapping it like he was calling a dog. "Actually, I doubt he even has $10. Hey, Boyd, you want to wash my car while we wait? I'll give you a 20 if you don't scratch it. I know you people are good with your hands." I stared at him. The urge to break his jaw was strong, pulsing in my knuckles, but I kept my face impassive. "We're going inside." "You," Brad laughed so hard he choked. "Look at your skin, son. Look at your clothes. The only way you get on this green is if you're carrying my clubs or cutting the grass. You don't belong here. You stain the scenery. You lower the property value just by standing on the asphalt." Monica giggled, tapping Brad's chest. "Don't be mean, babe. Maybe he's here to deliver drugs. That's how they make money, isn't it? Selling poison to good families." Sarah looked ready to cry. She didn't have the membership. She didn't have the status. "Let's go, Julian. They're right. We can't get in. We shouldn't have come." "Wait here," I said softly to her. I walked to the reception desk. The manager looked up, saw my face, saw my skin, and immediately reached for his radio. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave before I call the police. We have a strict no-soliciting policy, and we certainly don't allow vagrants." "I'm here to pay the lady's membership," I said, ignoring his trembling hand. I pulled a black card from my pocket. It wasn't just a credit card. It was the Onyx Dragon card. There were only 3 in the world. It was made of titanium and laced with gold. Brad and Monica had followed me in, eager to watch the humiliation. "Look at that," Monica shrieked, pointing at the card. "He stole a credit card. Call the cops right now. He probably mugged someone in the parking lot. That's evidence." "Swipe it," I told the trembling manager. "It's going to decline," Brad mocked, leaning against the counter. "And then you're going to jail, boy, federal prison. They'll love you in there." The manager swiped it. The machine didn't just beep, it chimed a melodious affirmative tone. "Approved." "I'm paying for a 100-year membership," I said calmly. "For Sarah and myself, $1 billion. Put it on the card." The machine chimed again. The manager looked like he was going to faint. His face went pale. "Transaction successful. Welcome, sir, and congratulations on joining the club." I turned to Brad. His face was pale, his mouth hanging open like a fish gasping for air. Monica looked like she had swallowed a lemon, her eyes darting between me and the card. "How?" Brad stammered. "It's fake. It has to be fake. A guy looking like you. You're a thug, a scammer. You hacked the machine." "My employer is generous," I lied smoothly. "Now, if you'll excuse us, we have golf to play, and try to stay out of the rough, Brad. I hear it's where the trash collects." We walked past them, onto the pristine green, but Brad wouldn't let it go. His ego was bruised, and a man like that couldn't handle losing to a man like me. He chased us down. "I challenge you," he yelled. "If you can beat me, I'll tell you where Billionaire X is. But if you lose, you crawl off the course on your hands and knees like the dog you are. You leave the industry. You leave the city." Sarah couldn't play. She was shaking. "I can't do it, Julian. I've never played golf." "I'll play for her," I said, stepping up. Brad laughed. I bet the only thing you've ever swung is a baseball bat at a car window. This is a gentleman's game, boy. It requires intellect, finesse, and breeding, 3 things you don't have." He took his shot. It was good. "Pa," he smirked. I stepped up to the tee. I didn't just hit the ball, I punished it. I channeled every racial slur, every dirty look, every moment of being told to get lost into that swing. The ball soared through the air, a perfect white arc against the blue sky, and dropped onto the green, rolling straight into the cup. A hole-in-one on a par 5. Luck, Monica screamed, stomping her heels into the grass. Pure dumb ghetto luck, do it again. I did it again on the next hole, and the next. By the end, Brad was humiliated. He threw his club down, his face purple. You cheated. You hustled me. Who taught you to play? Did you steal lessons too? You simply lack skill, I said coldly, handing the club to the caddy. Now, get out of my sight before I buy this course and evict you personally. The climax of the deception came 2 nights later, the Sterling family banquet. This was the event where Billionaire X was supposed to make his public debut to the elite of the city. I gave Sarah an invitation. I told her I found it. When we arrived at the mansion, the opulence was suffocating. Chandeliers worth more than most people's lives hung from the ceiling. Servants moved silently with trays of champagne, and standing at the entrance was Monica, holding onto the arm of an elderly woman, my aunt. My aunt hadn't seen me in 10 years, not since I went abroad to build my own empire. She didn't recognize the man I had become. What are you doing here? Monica screeched when she saw Sarah and me. She pointed a manicured finger at my chest, recoiling as if I were contagious. Security, get this filth out of here. He's crashing the party. He's going to rob the guests. She turned to the crowd, her voice raising to a theatrical pitch. Everyone, lock your purses. This woman brought her pet thug. Look at him. He probably has a gun in his waistband. He doesn't belong here. He smells like the street. The crowd murmured. People stepped back, clutching their pearls, looking at me with fear and disgust. The racism in the room was a physical weight, pressing down on my shoulders. I saw men checking their pockets. I saw women pulling their children closer. I have an invitation, Sarah said, her voice shaking but defiant. She held up the gold-embossed card. Fake, Monica ripped it out of her hand and tore it to pieces, throwing the confetti in Sarah's face. You forged it. You people lie, cheat, and steal. That's all you know how to do. And you, Sarah, bringing him, you're serving as a mattress for the help now. Disgusting. You've lowered yourself to the gutter. Sarah slapped her. It was a crisp, loud sound that echoed through the grand hall. You bitch, Monica lunged, her claws out, but I stepped in front of Sarah. I didn't touch Monica. I just looked at her. I let the mask slip. I let the predator out. Do not, I said, my voice dropping an octave, vibrating with command, touch her. Or what? Monica sneered, holding her cheek. You'll gang bang me. You'll call your homies to drive by my house. You're nothing. You are dirt. You are the mud on the bottom of my shoe. I am the queen of news. I make you and I break you. Suddenly, the doors at the top of the grand staircase opened. My uncle, the acting CEO, walked out, flanked by the board of directors. What is this commotion? He boomed. Mr. Sterling, Monica cried, putting on a victim act instantly. She pointed at me, tears faking in her eyes. This animal broke in. He's threatening me. He's threatening the guests. Look at him. He doesn't belong here. Please throw him out before he hurts someone. My uncle walked down the stairs slowly. He looked at Monica, then he looked at me. His eyes widened. He saw the family resemblance. He saw the scar on my chin from when I fell off my bike at the estate when I was 5. He saw the ring on my finger, the Sterling signet, passed down for generations. This man, my uncle said, his voice trembling slightly, is not an animal. He is, Monica insisted. He's a street rat. He's black trash. He, my uncle announced, bowing his head deeply toward me, is the head of the house. He is the chairman. He is Billionaire X. He is Julian Sterling. The silence that followed was louder than a bomb blast. It sucked the air out of the room. Monica froze. Her face went from red to white to a sickly gray. Her mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. What? You just insulted the owner of this house, I said, stepping toward her. The owner of the company you work for, the owner of the bank holding your mortgage, the owner of the station that broadcasts your face. I didn't know, Monica stammered, backing away, tripping over her own dress. Sir, you didn't look. I didn't look what? I asked, my voice deadly calm. I didn't look rich. I didn't look white. Because I'm black, I must be the help. Because I'm black, I must be a criminal. I was misled, she cried, pointing at Sarah. She tricked me. It's her fault. You're fired, I said, and not just fired. I will buy every station that considers hiring you and blacklist you. You will never hold a microphone again. You will never appear on a screen again. Now, Get out of my house before I have you arrested for trespassing and hate crimes. Security grabbed Monica and dragged her out, kicking and screaming. Her screams of "I'm the Queen" faded as the heavy doors slammed shut. I turned to Sarah. She was staring at me, tears in her eyes. "Julian, you're him." "I'm sorry I lied," I said softly, taking her hands. "I wanted to be sure. I needed to know someone loved me for me." We went on air the next day, an exclusive interview. I sat across from Sarah, telling the world my story. I told them about the girl who fed me when I was hungry. I declared my love for her on national television. I thought the battle was won. But the fairy tale wasn't over. It was about to turn into a nightmare. As we walked out of the studio, basking in the glow of the cameras, a fleet of black SUVs pulled up, screeching to a halt. A woman stepped out. She was young, draped in diamonds that cost more than the GDP of a small country, with a face that was pretty but twisted with entitlement and madness. Vanessa, the daughter of the richest oil tycoon in the state, and according to a contract signed by our grandfathers before I was born, my fiancé. "Julian," she squealed, running over. She tried to kiss me, but I pulled back sharply. "Vanessa, what are you doing here?" She glared at Sarah, her eyes raking over Sarah's simple dress. "Who is this? The maid? Why is she standing so close to you? Get away from him, servant." "This is Sarah," I said, putting my arm around her. "My girlfriend." Vanessa laughed. It was a cruel, high-pitched sound that grated on the ears. "Girlfriend? Oh, Julian, stop joking. You can't date her. She's old. She's working class. She looks like she shops at Walmart. Look at her shoes. They're practically plastic." She stepped closer to Sarah, sniffing dramatically. "God, she smells like poverty. It's sticking to your suit, Julian." "Watch your mouth," I warned, stepping between them. "And you," Vanessa said, turning her crazy eyes on me. "You think you can just break our engagement? My father owns this city. If you don't marry me, I'll destroy you. I don't care if you're a sterling. You're still just a man. And honestly, Julian, you should be grateful I'm willing to mix my blood with yours. My father hates that you're black, you know. He calls you a lucky savage. He says I'm doing charity work by marrying you. I'm doing you a favor by civilizing your bloodline." The rage I felt was blinding. "The engagement is off. I never agreed to it. Your father is a racist relic, and you are a spoiled child. You don't get to choose," Vanessa screamed, stamping her foot like a toddler. "I own you. You are mine. I want you, so I get you. You are my property." She snapped her fingers. "Daddy, do something." An older man, Mr. Liu, stepped out of the car. He looked tired, stern, and carried himself with the arrogance of a man who had never heard the word no. "Julian, you know the deal. Marry my daughter, or I pull my funding from your tech sector. I will crash your stock." "Pull it," I said. "I have enough money. I can buy and sell you 10 times over, Liu." Vanessa lost it. Her face contorted into a mask of pure hatred. "You ungrateful mongrel, I'll kill her. If I can't have you, nobody can. I'll burn your precious little pet." She lunged at Sarah. I blocked her, pushing her back. She stumbled, her eyes wide with shock that someone dared to touch her. "Don't you dare," I growled. Vanessa smirked, adjusting her diamonds. "You think you've won? This isn't over. You'll see. I always get what I want." 2 hours later, Sarah went missing. I called her phone. No answer. I checked the GPS tracker I had installed on her car for her safety. It led to the industrial district, to an abandoned warehouse on the docks. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I drove my Bugatti like a madman, crashing through the chain-link fence, tires screeching. Inside, I saw a sight that stopped my heart cold. Sarah was tied to a chair in the center of the vast, empty room. She was soaked in gasoline. The smell was overpowering. Vanessa stood there, holding a silver lighter, her eyes wide and manic. She was dancing around the chair, humming a nursery rhyme. "You came," Vanessa clapped her hands when she saw me. "Just in time for the barbecue. I was just telling Sarah how warm she's going to be." "Let her go, Vanessa," I screamed, stepping forward. "No," she shrieked, flicking the lighter open. The flame danced, reflecting in her crazed eyes. "She stole my life. She stole my husband. She's a thief. Just like all of you people, she's a thief. She came from nothing, and she wants everything." "Vanessa, please," Sarah sobbed, tears streaming down her face, mixing with the gasoline. "I didn't do anything to you." "You exist," Vanessa yelled. "You're dirty, you're poor, you're nothing. I am royalty. I am the princess. I deserve him. You deserve to burn." Suddenly, the warehouse doors burst open again. Mr. Liu ran in, followed by his team of bodyguards. "Vanessa, stop," he yelled out of breath. Daddy, Vanessa cried, beaming. Look, I'm fixing it. I'm burning the trash. Just like you said, we have to keep the bloodline pure, right? Put the lighter down, Mr. Liu begged. He looked at Sarah and then he froze. He stared at the necklace Sarah was wearing, a simple silver locket she always wore, resting against her gasoline-soaked chest. Where did you get that? Mr. Liu whispered, walking closer, ignoring the danger. My mother gave it to me, Sarah wept. Before she died, before she put me in the orphanage. Mr. Liu's face crumpled, the arrogance vanished, replaced by a devastating realization. He fell to his knees on the dirty concrete. Sarah, your mother's name, was it Catherine? Yes, Sarah whispered. Oh my God, Mr. Liu sobbed, clutching his chest. You are my daughter. Vanessa froze, the lighter shook in her hand. What are you saying? I had a daughter, Mr. Liu cried, looking up at the ceiling. With Catherine, my family forced us apart because she was poor. I thought the baby died. They told me the baby died. But it's you, Sarah, it's you. He turned to Vanessa, his eyes hardening into steel. I adopted you, Vanessa, from a distant cousin because you looked a little like her. But you are nothing like her. You are a monster. Adopted, Vanessa screamed. The word shattered her reality. I am not adopted. I am the heiress. She is nobody. She is a peasant. She is my blood, Mr. Liu roared, standing up. She is the true heir, and you are trying to kill your own sister. She is not my sister, Vanessa screamed. She is a witch, and he is a monster. She pointed at me. I won't let you have her. I'll burn them both. She threw the lighter. No, I shouted. I didn't think. I moved on instinct. I sprinted through the fumes, diving through the air. I tackled Sarah, knocking the chair over, shielding her body with mine as the flame hit the pool of gasoline. Whoosh! The heat was instantaneous. The fire roared around us, a wall of orange and red. I felt the blistering heat on my back, singing my jacket, but I held onto Sarah. I buried her face in my chest. Get them out, Mr. Liu screamed to his guards. Save her, save them. The bodyguards rushed in with extinguishers, blasting a path of white foam through the flames. They dragged us out, coughing and choking, into the cool night air of the parking lot. Vanessa stood there, laughing hysterically as the fire consumed the warehouse. Burn it all down. If I can't have it, no one can. Sirens wailed in the distance. Police cars swarmed the lot. Mr. Liu walked up to Vanessa. He didn't look like a doting father anymore. He looked like a judge delivering a death sentence. You are finished, he said coldly. I am disowning you. You are not a Liu. You are not an heiress. You are a criminal. You will not get a penny. You will rot in a cell. You can't do that, Vanessa shrieked as the police grabbed her, forcing her onto the hood of a car. I'm rich. I'm white. You can't arrest me. He's the criminal. Look at him. He's black. Arrest him. He kidnapped me. Take her away, Mr. Liu said, turning his back on her. Lock her up, forever. Vanessa screamed racial slurs, threats, and curses until the police car door slammed shut, cutting off her hate. I sat on the back of the ambulance, a thermal blanket wrapped around my shoulders. My thrift store jacket was ruined, burned and soaked, my hands covered in soot. Sarah sat next to me, holding my hands so tight her knuckles were white. She was shivering, but she was alive. You saved me, she whispered, touching my face. Always, I said, my voice raspy from the smoke. Sister is treating me, remember? I have to repay the debt. I told you I would pay you back 1,000 times over. Mr. Liu walked over. He looked humbled, broken. The arrogance was gone. He looked at me, really looked at me for the first time. Not as a political pawn, not as a black man he had to tolerate, but as the man who saved his daughter when he couldn't. Julian, he said, his voice cracking. I misjudged you. I listened to the prejudices of my generation. I called you names. I thought you weren't good enough because of your skin. He bowed his head, shame radiating off him. I was wrong. You are a better man than I will ever be. You protected her when I failed. I looked at him, then at Sarah. I don't need your approval, Mr. Liu. I don't need your money. I just need her. If you want to be in her life, you need to understand that disrespecting me is disrespecting her. He nodded, tears streaming down his face. I understand. You have my blessing. And Sarah, my daughter, can you ever forgive me for abandoning you, for raising that monster instead of you? Sarah looked at the man who was her father, then at the ambulance where her tormentor had just been taken away. She looked at the burns on my hands. She squeezed my fingers. We'll see, she said softly. Forgiveness takes time, But for now, I just want to go home. Where is home? Mr. Liu asked, looking lost. Sarah rested her head on my soot-covered shoulder, closing her eyes. Wherever Julian is. I smiled, looking up at the night sky. The smoke was clearing. The stars were coming out, bright and defiant against the darkness. They tried to tell me to get lost. They tried to tell me I was nothing, that I was a shadow to be swept away. But as I sat there, holding the woman I loved, with billions in the bank and my enemies in chains, I knew the truth. I wasn't lost. I had finally been found. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't invisible. I was exactly where I was supposed to be.